What's up everyone, we're going to be going through the best WNBA player props on PrizePicks today. Now I did want to show you the results from yesterday's picks from my exclusive Discord group, and as you guys see, we actually got 21 picks correct, which was absolutely insane. Now a lot of you comment wanting to see how many I got wrong, and I thought I'd show you in today's video. We actually got 0 picks wrong and got 21 right, which is a 100% win rate. Yes guys, we went perfect with a 100% win rate. So we're on a huge hot streak, but if you want to get a 100% win rate and get 21 picks right like me, win more bets and receive the best picks from some of the best bettors in the world for less than a cup of coffee, you can access the exclusive Discord and meet some of the best sport bettors in the game by joining my Patreon, which should be a link down below in the description. Once you join, you'll have complete access to the Discord and can start winning more bets today. So make sure to join my Patreon using the link in the description. And here's one of our members who just signed up and won himself $1,140 just yesterday, and another member who won $2,756 for the 6th day in a row since joining my Discord. So guys, if you want to win big money like our members, a link will be in the description, so go join the Patreon to have access to the Discord group, and I will be continuing to upload every single day on this channel the best bets and props, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss my daily uploads. So quick shout out to Tommy S6R who said Liberty at full strength, and also shouts out to Goodnight1615 who said let's go. So shouts out to them. If you do want to win a shout out in the next video, all you have to do is comment down below in this video and like it, and you can be in the running to win a shout out in the next one. Alright, so let's get straight into the first pick. And when it comes to these picks, I'm not saying to chuck all of them into a parlay and hope for the best. Pick and choose the ones that you like and the ones that work best for you. So the first pick we're talking about is none other than McBride for 2.5 rebounds, and this one actually is for less. Now looking at McBride, we actually have seen her go on the under in 2 out of the last 5 games. Now looking at the last 5 games, we do see on July 11th faced off against Los Angeles Sparks, actually had 1 rebound in that matchup. Then on July 13th faced off against Chicago, had 0 rebounds there. Then July 15th faced off against Chicago, had 5 rebounds in that matchup, so off a back-to-back game. July 17th faced off against Phoenix, had 5 rebounds, and then against Chicago again, 5 rebounds again on July 23rd. So we did see McBride over the last 5 games actually average 3.2 as well, so slightly above this line, but you do also have to realize they did face off against a very easy team, which was Chicago Sky, and they did face off against them 3 times. So it definitely was, some easy matchups for McBride in Minnesota as of lately. Now, coming into this next one, Minnesota do face off against the Las Vegas Aces. And looking at where both of these teams do rank, we do know, starting off with Minnesota Lynx, we do know that they come in at the #1 spot in the WNBA. Now, they actually have a record of 21 wins and 4 losses. So they've been on an absolute tear, an 84% win percentage. They are 13-0 at home, 8-4 from away, and are currently on a 3-game win streak as well. Now they also have the #1 spot in the Western Conference, and they face off against the Las Vegas Aces, who do have the 7th spot in the WNBA. Now they have 12 wins and 12 loss record, 50% win percentage, also 7-4 at home, 5-8 from away, and are currently on a 1-game losing streak. So it's definitely been a very interesting for the Aces. Been a very average season, I would say. Now looking at Aces, however, and where they do rank defensively, looking at their rebounds allowed, we do know that the Aces do rank 8th when it comes to rebounds allowed. So they don't really rank too high. However, what we have seen time and time again is that Las Vegas Aces actually do a fantastic job at, restricting rebounds to actually the guard position. So that's a big reason why we do very much like the under for this situation here. We definitely see someone like McBride going on the under due to this situation, and when we look at what the bookies are saying, bookies also have our favored for the under as well, so that works out in our favor there. So for that reason, keep an eye out for someone like McBride coming into this matchup. We definitely do very much like the under for this situation here, and we definitely see that happening. So for that, McBride 2.5 rebounds for less, I think is a fantastic pick. Now getting into the next one, we're actually going to be talking about none other than Alyssa Thomas. So Alyssa Thomas, as we all know, great player for none other than Phoenix, and this one is a great one for actually points, for 13.5 points at that, and this one is for less. Now, looking at Alyssa Thomas, we actually have seen her go on the under in 2 out of the last 5 games. Now, looking at those 5 games, we do see on July 8th, faced off against Dallas, had 15 points there. Then on July 10th, faced off against Minnesota, actually had 29 points. After that, on July 15th, faced off against Golden State Valkyries, had 17 points in that matchup. Then faced off against Minnesota, had 12 points on July 17th, and 7 points against Atlanta on July 24th. So that's definitely been interesting for Alyssa Thomas. Now, coming into this matchup, we do also know that, Phoenix face off against New York Liberty. Now, looking at the matchup between both of these teams, Phoenix Mercury do come in at the 3rd spot in the WNBA, but they also rank 2nd in the Western Conference. But they have a record of actually 15 wins and 8 losses. That's a 65.2% win percentage. So very, very good. And they also have a record of 9-4 at home, 6-4 from away games, and also are currently on a 2-game losing streak. So they are looking to really snap that losing streak coming into this next one. But it is going to be a tough one because they face off against New York Liberty, who come in at the 2nd spot in the WNBA, but also the number 1 spot in the Eastern Conference. Now, they have a record of 16 wins and 6 losses. That's a 72.7% win percentage. On top of that, they're also 11-2 from home, 5-4 from away, and are currently on a 4-game win streak as well. So it's definitely been interesting to see there. Now, looking at Alyssa Thomas, we do know coming into this matchup, we do know that New York Liberty, when it comes to points allowed, we do actually see that they rank 6th when it comes to points allowed. So pretty mid-tier. However, as we always mention, we do like to look on a per position basis, and what we have seen on a per position basis is that New York Liberty do a fantastic job at actually restricting points to the forward position, and that's where we are expecting Alyssa Thomas to struggle there. On top of that, Alyssa Thomas is definitely one of the main players in this Phoenix team, and what we have seen time and time again when it comes to New York Liberty's actually defensive strategy, we have seen what they like to run is to actually restrict their stars or some of the main players in the other team as much as they can. So we are expecting a lot of the defensive pressure to be on Alyssa Thomas and a lot of the defensive focus, which could definitely lead her to go on the under in this situation here. Now, looking at what the bookies are saying, bookies also have her favored for the under as well, so that works out in our favor there. So Alyssa Thomas, 13.5 points for less, I think is a fantastic pick. Now, getting into the next one, we're actually going to be talking about none other than Paige Beckers. So, Paige Beckers, great player for Dallas, and this one is a fantastic one for actually 5.5 assists, and this one is for less. Now, looking at Paige Beckers, we actually have seen her go on the under in 3 out of the last 5 games. Now, looking at those 5 games, you see on July 8th, faced off against Phoenix, had 3 assists in that matchup. Then July 10th, faced off against Chicago, had 4 assists there. July 14th, faced off against Indiana, had 4 assists. July 17th, faced off against the Aces, had 8 assists there. And July 23rd, faced off against Seattle and had 6 assists in that matchup. So you actually have seen her, go on the under more than she's gone on the over. And on top of that, her average over the last 5 is also 5 flat. So, actually below her line. Now, coming into this game, we do know Dallas face off against Golden State Valkyries. Now, it is going to be an exciting game, but looking at where both of these teams do rank, we do know Dallas Wings do come in at the 12th spot in the WNBA and have a record of 7 wins and 17 losses. So that's a 29.2% win percentage. That was a 4-7 from home, 3-10 from away, and are currently on a 1-game win streak. Now, on top of that, they face off against Valkyries, as I mentioned, and they have a record of 10 wins and 12 losses, a 45.5% win percentage, also 7-4 at home, 3-8 from away, and are currently on a 3-game losing streak. So, looking at both of these teams, we also do like to look at Golden State Valkyries and where they do rank defensively compared to assists. And we do see Golden State Valkyries do come in at the 6th spot when it comes to assists allowed. So, they do rank pretty decent. Nothing really too terrible, but nothing really too great. But what we also do see is that Golden State Valkyries do a fantastic job at restricting assists to the guard position. And that's where we definitely expect Paige Beckers to struggle here. Now, when you look at Paige as well, her usage rate has definitely not been there there as well in the assist department, and we think her low usage rate in these department has definitely or will definitely have an effect on her coming into this next game. Yes, she has had a couple of big matchups here and there, but when it comes to that, it definitely is interesting to see that her overall usage rate has definitely fallen in the assist department, and that's why we still do like the under, especially for a bit more of a tougher matchup defensively on a per position basis like Golden State Valkyries. We should see Paige go in the under there. So Paige Beckers, 5.5 assists for less, I think is a great pick. So as you all know, I do want to get these picks out to you as soon as possible, but Prizepicks is delayed with some of their lines. So here are a couple of players you should definitely watch out for when their lines drop. So the first we're going to be talking about is none other than Alanna Smith. So Alanna Smith, a great player for none other than Minnesota Lynx. We have seen her actually do a fantastic job so far this season because we've actually seen her average 9.6 points, 5.4 rebounds, 2.8 assists, and 1.1 steals. So she's definitely done a fantastic job there. Now, when we look at Minnesota Lynx, we do know they have themselves a very exciting matchup against the Las Vegas Aces. Now, looking at both of these teams and where they do actually rank defensively, starting off with Minnesota Lynx, we do know that they have the #1 spot in the WNBA with a record of 21 wins and 4 losses. So that's an 84% win percentage. They are 13-0 from home, 8-4 from away, and are currently on a 3-game win streak as well. Now, on the other side of things, they face off against the Aces. Now, Aces are also in the Western Conference, but they actually come in at the 7th spot in the WNBA, and they have a record of 12 wins and 12 losses. That's a 50% win percentage. They are also 7-4 from home, 5-8 from away, and are currently on a 1-game losing streak. So, looking at where defensively Las Vegas Aces do rank, we do know Aces do rank 9th when it comes to points allowed. They also rank 10th when it comes to assists allowed, and then rebounds allowed, they do rank 8th. So they rank pretty poor in all 3 categories, unfortunately. But it isn't unfortunate for Alanna Smith. Because of that, we do actually like the over for someone like Alanna coming into this game. Now, Alanna Smith definitely has a decent usage rate in all 3 departments, and we definitely are expecting her to be able to take advantage of this and go on the over in this situation here. Now, looking at Alanna Smith against the Aces, we do actually see that Alanna, over the last 5 games, we saw her on the 11th face-off against the Sparks, had a 91-82 win, actually had 15 points, 5 rebounds, and 0 assists in that matchup. Then faced off against Chicago Sky on the 13th, had an 87-81 loss, had 8 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists there, and 6 steals. Then on the 15th, faced again against Chicago on a back-to-back, had a 91-78 victory with 4 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists there. Then faced off against Phoenix Mercury with a 79-66 win with 11 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. Now, moving on into the next game after that, they faced off against Chicago again with a 91-68 victory, this time with 10 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists there. So, we definitely have seen some pretty interesting things. We have actually seen that Alanna Smith has, faced off against Chicago in 3 out of those 5 games. So it is definitely hard and difficult to kind of gauge off the last 5 as 3 of those games are against Chicago, so it is a little bit unfair there. But what we have seen in the past is that Alanna Smith definitely does a very good job, especially against poor defensive teams. And we are expecting someone like Alanna Smith to be able to take advantage of this situation here. So for that reason, I definitely would keep an eye out, for the over for this situation here. Now, keeping an eye out for Alanna Smith, I think points, rebounds, and assists, no real need to actually, focus on any sort of, category. I think she has the capability to definitely go in the over in any of them. So just definitely keep an eye out for her line. And as I always mention, if the line is under her averages, then definitely look to go on the over. So getting into the next player, we're going to be talking about another fantastic player, and that is Lexi Held. So Lexi Held, great player from none other than Phoenix Mercury. Now, she's done a fantastic job so far this season, averaging 8.3 points, 1.8 rebounds, 1.3 assists, and 1.4 steals. So she's definitely done a great job there. Now, when we look at this matchup, we do know that, Lexi Held and Phoenix Mercury have themselves an interesting matchup as they face off against none other than New York Liberty. Now, it is going to be an exciting game for sure between both of these teams, but looking at where both of these teams do rank, We do know that starting off with Phoenix Mercury, we do know Phoenix Mercury do actually rank 3rd in the WNBA. So they rank very, very well, but they also rank 2nd in the Western Conference. Now, they actually have a record of 15 wins and 8 losses. So a decent record there. Does give them the 3rd spot, but also are 9-4 from home, 6-4 from away, and are currently on a 2-game losing streak. So it's definitely interesting to see there. Now they face off against none other than actually New York Liberty, as we mentioned. New York Liberty are actually in the other conference, and in that other conference, we do know that New York Liberty rank 2nd in the WNBA, but also rank 1st in the Eastern Conference. So they do very, very well in their conference. Now, looking at their record, they have a record of 16 wins and 6 losses. That's a 72.7% win percentage. That's 11-2 at home, 5-4 from away, and are currently on a 4-game win streak as well. So Liberty have been absolutely dominating. Now, looking at Liberty defensively, we do actually see that they rank 6th when it comes to points allowed. On top of that, they also rank 8th when it comes to assists allowed, and then rebounds allowed. We also do know Liberty do rank 11th. So a little bit interesting there. We do see them rank lower, in most of the categories, definitely mid-tier. And that's why for someone like Lexi Held, we do actually very much still like the under for this situation here. Now, a big reason for this is that when it comes to Lexi Held, she is a guard, and what we have seen time and time again, she also does play, usually for that second unit, but we actually see that, New York Liberty actually do a fantastic job at restricting points, rebounds, and assists to Lexi's position. Now, Lexi does have a decent role for this team for sure, but I do believe that her usage rate is definitely dependent on how the others play in this matchup, because Phoenix Mercury have some big players in their roster, and those players definitely get a lot more usage rate, and Lexi Held's usage rate is definitely very, deciding based off what the defense really gives them. But the fact that New York Liberty do a great job against Lexi's position, we definitely see that being a struggle for Lexi coming into this game. Now, looking at her last 5 games, you see against Dallas most recently, actually on the 12th of last month, had a 93-80 victory, had 11 points, 0 rebounds, and 1 assist there. Then faced off against the Las Vegas Aces on the 16th, 76-70 win with 3 points, 1 rebound, and 2 assists there. Then on the 19th, faced off against Connecticut, had an 83-75 victory with 14 points, 2 rebounds, 0 assists, and also 2 steals. After that, on the 20th, faced off against New York Liberty, had an 89-81 victory with 0 points, 1 rebound, and 1 assist there. Then faced off on the 24th against Atlanta, had 12 minutes of game time, but had 3 points, 3 rebounds, and 0 assists there. So, pretty interesting to see. Now, obviously, we do know that they have faced off, or she has definitely faced off against New York Liberty recently. And in that most recent game, we definitely saw Lexi, not really do too well in her stat line, going 0-1-1. And that's the sort of stat line, unfortunately, we are expecting coming into this next game. No disrespect to her, but I do believe New York Liberty's defense against her position is definitely going to cause a lot of trouble for Lexi, especially since Lexi doesn't really have the highest usage rate for this team. So for that reason, I would definitely keep an eye out for the under for this situation for someone like Lexi. Now, when it comes to her line, obviously, she does have a higher usage rate in the points department, so I am expecting PrizePicks to, come out with a line more in the points category compared to, rebounds and assists. So for that reason, keep an eye out for her line, in the points category. If it is too close to her averages, then definitely look to go on the under. Now, getting into the next player, we're going to be talking about Isaiah James. Now, Isaiah James has done a great job for Dallas Wings. Now, she's actually averaged 8.3 points, 2.9 rebounds, 2.1 steals, and also 2.1 assists, and 0.8 steals. So she has actually done a great job there. Now, she does play for the Dallas Wings, and the Dallas Wings do have themselves a great matchup against Golden State Valkyries. So it is definitely going to be a massive matchup there. Now, looking at where both of these teams do rank, we do know that starting off with Dallas Wings have had a very, very tough season and actually come in at the 12th spot in the WNBA and also last in the Western Conference. So they haven't really done too well. They have a record of 7 wins and 17 losses. They also are 4-7 from home, 3-10 from away, and are currently on a 1-game win streak. Now they face off against Golden State Valkyries, as we all know. Now Golden State Valkyries do actually rank 9th in the WNBA. They have a record of 10 wins and 12 losses, a 45.5% win percentage. They are 7-4 at home, 3-8 from away, and are currently on a 3-game losing streak as well. Now, looking at Isaiah, we actually do know against the Dallas Wings, we have actually seen her do a fantastic job for this team. But looking at Golden State Valkyries and where they do rank defensively, they actually do rank 2nd in points allowed, 6th in assists allowed, and when it comes to rebounds allowed, they actually do rank 7th. So it is a little bit interesting there. Obviously, you know, Valkyries do rank a little bit higher in points, but a little bit less in rebounds and assists. Now, for someone like Isaiah James, we actually do like the under for this situation here, but strictly just for points. Now, a big reason being is that, as we mentioned before, Golden State Valkyries do rank very, very high when it comes to, you know, restricting points. So that's definitely a big one there. Now, on top of that, we also do know Isaiah James as well, you know, is a guard, and Golden State Valkyries have shown time and time again that they do a fantastic job at restricting points to the guard position. So we definitely see that happening here. We are expecting Isaiah James to go on the under due to those situations. Now, looking at her last 5 games, she's definitely had some big games, but we do see on the 8th, faced off against Phoenix, had a 102-72 loss, but had 15 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists. After that, faced off against Chicago, had an 87-76 loss with 8 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists there. Then after that, faced off against Indiana Fever on the 14th, had 11 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists. Then faced off against the Las Vegas Aces on the 17th, had a 90-86 loss with 2 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists there. Then against Seattle Storm, had an 87-63 win and had 7 points, 4 rebounds, and 1 assist in that matchup. Now, coming into this matchup, obviously, you know, Isaiah James is a great player, but we are expecting a lot of intense defense from Golden State Valkyries that could cause a lot of trouble for someone like James to go on the over. And that's why we are sticking to the under for this one. Now, like I mentioned before, definitely, you know, focus a little bit more on points than anything else. That is where we do like it. So definitely keep an eye out for Isaiah James' points line. Like I always mentioned, if the line is too close to our averages, then definitely look to go on the under. Now, getting into the next player, we're going to be talking about Dana Evans. So, Dana Evans, as we all know, great player as well from none other than the Las Vegas Aces. Now, we have seen her do a fantastic job so far this season, averaging 6.5 points, 0.9 rebounds, 1.8 steals, and also 1.8 assists and 0.5 steals. So, we definitely have seen her do a fantastic job there. Now, coming into this matchup, it's definitely going to be a good matchup because we do actually see that they face off, as we all know, against none other than, you know, Minnesota Lynx. So it is going to be an intense game between both of these teams. We both know how well, you know, Minnesota Lynx have been doing. And just to remind you all again, Minnesota Lynx do come in at the #1 spot in the actual WNBA. So they've been doing a fantastic job there. But on top of that, they also face off against the Las Vegas Aces. Now, Aces do come in at the 7th spot in the WNBA, have a 12-12 record. So it's definitely been, you know, a little bit tougher for the Aces there. But looking at Lynx as well, you know, we have talked about their home and away, but I also want to take a look at their last 10 games. They have been on an 8-2 run. So they've won their 8 out of the last 10 games, so they've been on an absolute roll lately. Aces on the other side, on the last 10 games they've played, have been 5-5. So unfortunately, a little bit worse there. Now, coming into this game, it's definitely going to be an exciting one, but looking at this matchup, we do know that, you know, Las Vegas Aces face off against, you know, Minnesota Lynx, but Lynx defensively do rank 1st in points allowed, 1st in assists allowed, and then rebounds allowed, they do rank a 9th. So surprisingly, they do actually rank a little bit lower in that, you know, rebound department. But coming into that matchup, we do very, very much like the under for this situation here for someone like Dana Evans in the points and assist department. Now, it definitely does work out because Dana Evans actually does have a lower usage rate in that rebounding category. So I do believe points and assists is definitely where we will see a line out for someone like Dana Evans from PrizePicks. But coming into this matchup, we do very much like the under, as Minnesota Lynx have shown great defensive, you know, ability. on teams, and especially overall just have done a great job defensively. And that's what does put them in such a great position, you know, in the actual WNBA ranking wise. Now looking at Dana Evans over the last 5 games, we do see faced off against Washington Mystics, had a 70-68 loss. Now in that matchup actually had 11 points, 0 rebounds, 2 assists there. Then on the 13th faced off against Golden State Valkyries, had a 104-102, you know, win in that matchup. Now, moving on from that one, we also saw her actually have 8 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists. And Dallas Wings after that, 90-86 win with 6 points, 2 rebounds, and 3 assists there. Then faced off against Atlanta Dream on an 87-72 win with 14 points, 2 rebounds, and 2 assists. Then against Indiana, had 0 points, 0 rebounds, 1 assist on an 80-70 loss. So it's definitely been pretty interesting. Now, obviously coming into this matchup, we still do very much like the under for someone like Dana Evans due to the fact that Minnesota Lynx have shown time and time again that they are a great defensive team. So we definitely see that happening here. So coming into this matchup, keep an eye out for Dana Evans. As I've always mentioned, keep an eye out for the line. If the line is too close to her averages, then definitely look to go on the under there.